Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. You guys have spoken and I have listened, and we are reacting to a Scentsy team coping hard as fuck with these new changes that are coming.
I've been waiting my whole life for this very moment.
And actually, at the time that I'm recording this, it is a few hours before the Scentsy co-founders and current CEO get on a Facebook Live and address all of the customers and consultants and talk about the end of month and the changes to come. So after I record this video, a big explosion can happen within Scentsy. But I promise you, I am staying on top of it and we will be covering it.
Stay tuned for live coverage
Because I know that there are a lot of you here that are waiting to see the continuation, I guess we can call it in my opinion, of the downfall of Scentsy. Now, like I said, this is a team that is coping hard with the changes. And the top leader on this team call is trying to, in my opinion again, convince her team to stay put and keep going, because we all know the people at the top leaders are the ones that are actually making any kind of income because of their team. We're gonna get right the fuck into this call, but first, we need the disclaimer.
I got the church open, verse 2, come get the word, then hit the curve. I feel like blessing my ride today. I know how much she like rolling. The smoke from the top.
Really quickly, if you're not familiar with Scentsy, they are an MLM, also known as a multi-level marketing company, a network marketing company. Some would refer to them as a social selling company or a party plan company. Many would even call them a pyramid scheme. And that is because of the way that they run their businesses. They are all very heavily encouraged to recruit more people into Scentsy, because that is a way that you can get more bonuses and more income on top of your sales. Now, what do they sell? I'm so glad you asked. They focus on scented products, hence the name Scentsy. The main product that they're known for is the wickless candle. So that is the warmers with a light bulb that you plug into the wall, and they heat up wax in a dish at the top typically and make your rooms smell good. Now, since launching that product way back in 2004, Scentsy has launched a ton of other scented products. Some have failed and some are still around. We're gonna get the fuck into this call and listen to what these people have to say.
Now, we're going to segue really quickly to watching a video.
We're already doing that.
That was posted by another superstar director to her team and her community. And she worded things so well in this video and the things she was talking about that we wouldn't have done it justice if we had paraphrased what she had said and told it to you. You know how sometimes the game of telephone just either isn't as good as the initial message, or it's completely different than the initial message, and we didn't want to mess anything up. And so we're going to share that video with you. And then once that video is over, we've got a couple other things that we're going to talk to you about after that. So
as far as the individual goes that we're hearing talk right now, that is the top leader. That is the leader of the team that is on this call. And I will say that she is a very well-known leader. The reason I know this is because if you're not familiar with my channel, I was in Scentsy for almost 4 years. I was 1,000% drinking the Kool-Aid. I was these people.
I joined a cult, chopped off my hair.
I was trying to get to where this leader was. It never happened, obviously, because here we are. With that said, this individual was a celebrity Scentsy consultant, I guess we could call them. She's one of the people that goes to Scentsy family reunion and everybody wants to meet her and take pictures. Now there's a handful or more of other consultants like this. This was one of those consultants. I have said in the past that I had an interaction with her and she was very pleasant. I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for her. However, that doesn't change the fact that she is in a very scammy, predatory business, and she's encouraging others to stay in the business and join the business. So we touch on that here, regardless of your MLM celebrity status.
and before you press play, for those of you, many of you on this call and in our community knows who this is very well. It's Christina Stainbrook. She is a superstar director. She is incredible and has quite a way with words. And I just love her personality when she talks about Scentsy and her love for Scentsy. But anyway, she is who is going to be speaking to us.
I will, on the contrary, say that I have interacted with this individual.
Such a diva.
She could be a great person if you get to know her, but she was not fucking nice. She had the diva mentality for sure. And from what others have said to me in private, they've had a similar interaction.
If you're watching this as the replay, feel free to comment replay. I'll probably wait till somebody gets on because I want to know if my fish tank's too loud because I can't hear it from here.
Is this a joke?
So we'll see if anybody hops on. I'm going to use these voice enhancements and we'll see. So what is this little spicy thing? I don't know.
That's a spicy meatball!
Oh, okay. Hi, Tab. Hey, can you hear my fish tank? Is it like super loud? Can you tell me? Maybe. Hi, Tiffany. Morning, Rayanne. If you guys can hear my fish tank, can you let me know? If not, I'll keep going. It's very loud. There's a leak in our fish tank.
Literally, all you have to do if you want to know if something is too loud before you get on a live stream is film yourself on the phone talking to see if it's too fucking loud. Already, we're wasting people's time. This is a team call. You pulled up a recording. You could have fast forwarded through all of this, but no, we're sitting here listening to how her fish tank is loud and she doesn't know if anybody could hear her. What the fuck world are we living in?
And it like it's like a little water feature, like a fountain water feature in spa. Okay. Hello, good morning. Happy Sunday. I just wanted to hop on here because I was just it's been an interesting morning. And I just wanted to just encourage you guys a little bit. So I just wanted to remind you guys that one thing that we are so passionate about in here is just really protecting your energy and taking your thoughts captive and just making sure you're focusing on what you want more of. And this is just good advice in life, business, social media, scrolling, is that the things that you subscribe to and the things that you spend time focusing on and looking at and reading and thinking about is what you're going to see more of. It's like when you buy a car and then suddenly you start seeing that car everywhere, right? Or have you ever had a thought or a dream about somebody that you haven't seen in years and then the next day you run into them at Walmart? The funny thing is they may have just been at Walmart all of the time, but you didn't notice them because you weren't primed to do so. And the same thing is true when it comes to things that we are dissatisfied with. Like we're not dumb. We all know that there's a squirrel.
Yeah, it's me, Mr. Squirrel.
The tree outside holding a stick. He's just got a big fat stick in his mouth and he's climbing the tree. Okay, he's out. He's gone now. But what we focus on and what we spend our energy on is what we're going to see more of. So if you are sitting in your business and you're just frustrated with it and all you see are no's and hard work and dissatisfaction and goals unmet, most of that's going to keep happening. Which is probably the most frustrating thing about it, because what's really true is that we are in control of our mood and our attitudes and the things that we fill our hearts and minds.
To an extent. If you're asking legitimate questions that you want to know, yes, you have control of getting that information, but also you need that information to make an informed decision. So in my opinion, closing your eyes to the information that you're essentially telling these consultants to ignore, which is the anti-mlm community or the Scentsy hate group that's sharing useful information and facts that the Scentsy co-chairs and CEO are not sharing, because it will show you what's really happening. When we're talking about not focusing on the negative and things like that, I can agree with that. Don't focus on the negative, focus on the positive. But like I said, you want to be able to make an informed decision, and remaining ignorant to the facts that don't align with Scentsy staying successful and you as a top leader remaining successful, that doesn't negate the facts that are there that you guys aren't sharing because it shows your business in a negative light. The facts are still there. It doesn't change the facts just because you're telling them not to focus on it.
With. And when we seek to find confirmation of our fears, we will find it every time. So you have to really go into things deciding what you want out of them.
Yes, but at the point where you have to get into your Facebook team group and go and live stream to tell people that they need to stay away from the negativity, you have to ask yourself,
why are so many people seeing negativity? What is the negativity? And why are they starting to ask questions?
you can't just ignore it and pretend that Scentsy and your world is all rainbows and butterflies, because my friend, that's never the fucking case.
And I just wanted to remind you all of that. So if you're looking at, things like comp plan changes or party structure changes, and it's making you angry and afraid, and you're seeking people to confirm that in you, you will find it every time.
I'm sorry, what? You're seeking people to confirm it, or you're asking questions to make an informed decision? Most of these people are just wanting to make an informed decision and asking questions about the compensation plan. Whether you like the fucking questions they're asking or not, you are in a place where you need to fucking answer them and not tell them, ignore the negativity. You're delusional, in my opinion, allegedly.
But if you are seeking encouragement, and you're seeking hope, and you're seeking things that will help calm you and bring light into your life, you're going to find that as well. And I want to make sure you understand that this place and this group and me, very specifically me and many people in here, if you want to say, hey, I'm that kind of person, you are safe with us. Your business is safe with us.
You cannot say that. You cannot tell anyone in your Facebook group or on this call that they're playing the replay to. You cannot tell anybody in the world that their business is safe, specifically because you don't even own Scentsy. You are a 1099 contracted employee, just like all of the other consultants, and you don't know the actual dark facts that you're closing your eyes to because you don't want to fucking see them, and your team is getting pissed off because you're not answering their fucking questions.
Your motivation and your desire to get the most out of your business is safe with us. If you want a different way of thinking and a different way of living, and a life that feels more fulfilling, and a life that feels less toxic, and a life that feels less negative, you'll find that with us.
Of course, because you wash out all of the negativity of what's really happening within Scentsy and within MLMs across the fucking board, girlfriend.
But one thing that's so very true in every area of your life is that in every effort you have to improve your life and to improve the lives of others, there are going to be people out there who want to see you fail at that. And I think the most important thing that you can do is to recognize that and remind yourself of what's true. Because their opinions are not.
Opinion or fact?
Their determination to throw rocks at shiny things and clean windows is not the truth about you.
Their opinions are not true. Friend, if you are referring to any of the anti-MLM community, at least for me, yeah, I share passion and I get fucking angry as fuck on my videos like I'm doing right now because you're a fucking liar and you're taking advantage of these people because you're at the top of the pyramid, my friend. You are the leader of this Facebook community that you're talking to, and you don't want anybody to leave because that means you lose income. But when Scentsy inevitably flips to affiliate only, you're going to lose that income anyway, and you're going to be like,
well, I just lied to everybody.
So how is that going to feel? And I'm not sorry. I brought this up in another video that there's specific MLMs that I get very angry about. Scentsy is one of them. Optavia is another one. And the reason for that is because I can see through the fucking bullshit because I was there. Thousands of people are going to lose the income that they rely on because whether we like it or not, there are thousands of people at the top. Granted, that doesn't change the percentage of people at the top because there are so many Scentsy consultants. We've already gone over the saturation issue many times in different videos. There are still thousands of people at the top that rely on all of these people at the bottom to pay their bills. So of course they're going to get on here and be like, don't pay attention to the negativity because they're fucking scared. They are scared too, but they can't show it because they will lose their income immediately. They are buying themselves time, in my opinion, to make other plans.
And it took me a really, really long time. And it's still something that I work really hard on, is standing in what I know is true and chasing the things that confirm that truth and dismissing and letting go of the things that attempt to tell me I'm wrong. And I don't mean that in a narcissistic way. I mean that in a protecting my peace and my energy and protecting what I've built kind of way. And I'm here to help you do that. I know your leaders are here to help you do that. And I just had a moment of kind of peace this morning, because if anybody who I confide in often knows me and they know my struggles with feeling like I'm not a fraud. I have horrible imposter syndrome. And I have all 13 years of Scentsy. I have never felt once deserving of anything I've gotten. I've never felt truly and authentically capable of what I can do until honestly recently.
Let me get out my tiny violin.
Oh, so now we have to play our tiny violins for you and feel bad.
And I received a message this morning from a friend about someone attempting to cause us harm, and our group harm, and myself harm.
Us, the anti-mlm community, I'm sure. We're not trying to cause anybody harm. We're trying to warn the out of you people, and you're not listening. Come back to this in January of 2026 and tell me how amazing your Scentsy business is.
Okay, so what we realized is that we meant to queue up the video to a specific spot, and we realized when we started sharing the screen and then she was going through the beginning part.
I didn't realize it was 25 minutes long.
Yeah,
so
there was a particular spot that we were going to, so Anna's going to queue that up. You guys, I'm sorry that was you were getting the whole thing, and we thought that we had it queued. So
Christ, what a shit show.
Don't we think that should have been done already, ma'am? And we went through all of that time. It's just so good.
Side note for 1 second, because Anna, I am going to need you to share your screen for the other stuff. This is like, you know, when you watch Saturday Night Live sometimes and they giggle because it's like impromptu and they go off you're kind of getting like the behind the scenes, like you thought we had things more polished tonight, and we messed up and didn't queue up the video.
I'm not sure anybody ever thought that, because any Scentsy call, hers or any others, is exactly like this. In fact, most MLM team calls are like this. So unbelievably unorganized, and also probably could have been an email. If that, maybe even a one-line text.
And you know what else I forgot? No, I'm going to do that at the very end. Here's the problem. Anna has the shared video on her screen, and she has the next two things I'm supposed to show, or that we're showing on Zoom tonight, on her screen as well. You got it? Okay, good. I feel like I'm failing miserably this evening.
I actually think this is really good, Melissa, because you come on and are so polished all the time. It's almost like some people would think that you rehearsed. And this is actually like, look, like this is...
The show still must go on, and sometimes it's not as perfectly polished as. So thank you for that, Tammy. Thank you.
Okay, I promise.
Look, it shows we're human. We're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
lead the people around. Some shining examples of that are people on our team page who don't have teams, and it echoes a lot of what I said the other day, is just people who share and they pour into everyone else around them without expecting anything in return. And that's so, so important. But just a reminder, what you're looking for, you're going to see more of. So if you are disgruntled in your business and you're joining groups full of other people who are disgruntled in their business, ask yourself what it's really doing for you. Guaranteed it's not helping you make any more money, more friends, more genuine connections with other humans.
Here's what it's helping them do. Here's what it's doing for them, Christina. It's giving them information that they're asking you for, and you're coming back with,
just stay away from the negativity.
I can guarantee it's not making your mood better. I can guarantee it's not serving your family. It's not earning you a paycheck in any way. And you're not going to find that in here. And I just want to make sure that you know that we are here to help you out of whatever that rut is and into something that's better for you. And my final thoughts, and these are thoughts a lot of people know about me. Oh gosh, I lost it. Hold on. I'm gonna close my eyes so I can't see you. Oh, yes. Okay, we're back. This is unrelated, but also related. But there is not a single person out there who is attempting to tear down this industry who can truly call themselves pro-woman or pro anything associated with that.
What the fuck did you just say?
Go sit on a cactus. Because you're sitting there being predatory as while you know that there's shit going on behind the scenes, but you're trying to save your ass. Don't sit here and tell the anti-MLM community or anyone that speaks out on multi-level marketing that they are anti-women. You're preying on all these women and selling them the false idea that joining an MLM is going to give them a business and give them financial freedom and community and all of the things they've been looking for. So before you come at a community and tell them that they are anti-women, you better fucking know your facts.
This industry, 82% of people who are making over $100,000 a year, of women making over $100,000 a year, are indirect sales. 82% of women making over $100,000 a year are indirect selling.
No, they're not. And a simple Google search will tell you that the actual statistic is that, and this is very loosely quoted because to find any statistic that they're quoting where they found this is very, very hard. I dug and dug and dug. From what I have read, it is likely that they took it from a study done a while back that found that of the people who have made $1 million in an MLM, 82% of them are women. Not 82% of millionaire women are in an MLM. That is false. And if you're going to come on to your team and tell them to ignore the negativity, which are facts, and hit them with false information like this that you guys made up to make yourself look better, you need to look in the mirror. Take a step back, sit down, get off of social media, don't go live for a little while. And the people that are being negative, listen to them for 1 second. Listen to the facts they're sharing, the facts that they have backed up with sources.
There is not a single other industry that can offer women the chance to completely change the trajectory. And I mean, this is women and anyone else, but there's no lie that this is an extremely female dominated industry. And that is for a reason. And it's not because women are weak or easily manipulated.
Women are not weak and they are not easily manipulated. I'm saying that as a woman because I'm strong as and you're going to try to manipulate me. I'm going to do it right the back. And that could just be the petty in me. However, the fact that the MLM industry is primarily made up of women does not mean that it is for women. It's degrading. Most MLM companies, my friend, are run by males. The men at the top are making the rules for the mostly female dominated industry. Let that fucking sink in.
And people who tell you that this industry preys on women is devaluing women. is I don't know a single woman.
MLM companies devalue women, and they devalue the ability that women have to start and run a business, to start and run a successful business, to start and run anything that is going to give them independence and financial stability. It's undermining the ability of a woman to figure out life on her own. We don't need multi-level marketing companies. We never needed a man to start a perfume company back in the 50s, if it was the 50s or the 30s, something, to help stay-at-home moms make money. Do your research, because the MLM industry, in my opinion, is one of the most degrading things you can do to a woman, because you leave there defeated, because most people, 99% of people who join MLMs fail. The women that join MLMs and fail, the 99% of women that fail, they leave defeated. They leave feeling like they've failed because of the community that makes them feel that way. They leave thinking that they're never going to be able to start a business, so they don't even try. They leave with no benefits, friends that have left them because they're no longer benefiting them financially. So tell me again, Christina, how this MLM industry is so great for women and not degrading at all. Do your research. Dig a little deeper. Find some things that don't agree with what you agree with, and dig into why that is something that you disagree with. What are the facts that you should know? Google things.
Google that shit.
Forget it. We're scrapping the video. Anna picked the wrong video altogether.
What the fuck, Anna?
Oh, so now it's just the wrong video altogether. However, I am so grateful that they put this video up here, because holy shit.
I'm blaming Anna.
It's all me.
Okay.
I'm fine.
It's the wrong video altogether. So we're skipping the video. Yes.
No, we're not. It's good. You have to. This is important. I'm grabbing it. It will be fine. Here, look. Am I still screen sharing?
Because the message we wanted to share from Christina segued into what we are going to tell you next. And that's why we wanted to share it.
Patient. I'm sorry.
But now can you just paraphrase it?
Often, if you haven't noticed, but I just want.
I'll fast forward a little bit. Okay.
Are you sure?
Yes.
This one is it?
Look, what?
Okay, it was the wrong video altogether.
Yes,
this is the right video.
Title and what you're all going through. I just wanted to encourage you with some things that I know personally works. I've seen so many of you have massive roller coaster shifts in your business that are directly tied to your energy. And I would say that is 90% true. The energy that you're putting into your business rises and falls at the same rate that your business does. And those of you who've been with me, I was just floored the other day, because I was looking at people's join dates and realized that so many of you are new. But those of you who aren't new have been in this for like 7 to 10 years.
Oh my God, this is a disaster, you guys. Okay, let me give you a rundown of what just happened. So the girl who's starting the video, the other leader, she's trying to like apologize to the people on this call in the chat, like the Zoom chat. She's typing into the fucking comments of this live stream. I can't. This is such a cluster. It's halfway through, and this is what we've been dealing with. But at least we've got something good out of it so far, I think.
Know where you've been for 6 to 7 years or more. And in the same way that I watch your businesses go up and down and your energy levels go up and down, I notice your absence on social media. I notice your absence in our team page. When there's a new teammate, you're never there welcoming them. You're not sharing anymore.
How dare you? It's their business though, Christina. They can empower themselves. They're women. They can do whatever they want. They don't need to be in your group encouraging the other teamies to make sales and recruit people, do they? That's your job, isn't it?
And I think it's so important to remember that motivation comes from action. Taking action in your business and taking action towards bettering yourself and being more consistent will drive that consistency and that motivation in your daily business. The only thing that has set me apart and some of your top leaders apart, and I mean only some of them, is their daily dedication to staying energy consistent as far as their contribution. One of Scentsy's core values, essentially, is give more than you take. And one thing that we forget to do before we take is give. And I just want to really encourage all of you.
That's great in any other situation than when you're trying to make a living for your family and pay bills. I'm sorry. I'm going to take more than I give because I got bills to pay. So stop. Just stop with that bullshit. Give more than you take. The only reason I think in my head that Heidi and Orville came up with give more than you take is because they want more. They are keeping more than they are giving you. Give them more than you take. Maybe that was a business chess move Orville started way back, knowing that eventually they would be fucking their consultants over. Just remember, give more than you take.
One of you is messaging me right now. I can't see it because if I swipe over there, my messenger's going off. So if it's one of you, I'm so sorry. I can't get it. But if you text me, it might show up. And that distracted me. I'm so sorry. You have to show up first before anything else is going to happen. And the people that you see in here posting every single day, or posting when they're making samples, or sharing news tab things, those are the ones who are keyed into their business. And they're also the ones that I often don't see complaining ever about the state of their business. And it has nothing to do with how well their business is going right now. Does that make sense? Because some of the ones who are in here every single day, the ones who are sharing how they're working their business, sharing what's good, shouting out their teammates, commenting on everyone's posts. Thanks, Tiffany. Yeah, for some reason my messages don't show me previews, but my text messages do, so I could see. I appreciate it. And I can actually see comments now. I had to swipe over and swipe back, and I could see comments. So I just wanted to encourage all of you that if your business is being kind of poo-poo right now, can you start sharing more? And I don't mean complaining more. I mean, use a little bit of the built-in accountability of this group to show us how you're working your business right now. When you're texting customers, you need to be posting that in here.
I don't mean complaining more. You need to show us what you're doing. What do you consider complaining? Because in the MLM world, in my experience, complaining is asking a simple question like, how do I get more sales? How do I get more recruits? Because we all know that's how they're going to make more money, so they want more recruits. Are those the questions that you're telling them to stay away from because those might be seen as negative, and just share them making samples instead?
And encouraging people who maybe hadn't thought to do that today to do it. If you're making samples or you're sending Happy Mail, can you guys post that in here again? You guys used to be so good about it, but I've seen a very, very direct correlation with how good you feel about yourself right now in your business and how much I see you showing up. And they're equal. Your business is poo-poo and I see you nowhere. I don't see you posted on Facebook. I don't see you sharing Scentsy specials. I don't see you sharing sales. I don't see you sharing samples. I don't see you posting about the new catalog.
You stalked my whole life on the boardwalk. It's my turn to talk. It's my turn to talk. You stalked my whole entire life, right? And I don't like that.
And then you're like, blah, about your business. The first way to fix that is to share. Share on your profile, share how you're working, share with others, cheer everyone else on. I promise you, as someone who's been in this for 13 to 14 years, it will fix you every single time. Every time it will fix you. It will fix you. And it may not immediately fix the numbers in your businesses, but it's going to fix how you feel about the business that you're in. Every single time. You have to be sharing. You have to be.
That literally doesn't even make sense. Like, if your business is failing miserably, you have no sales, no recruit, no money coming in. So at that point, it's a hobby. You're gonna dive into your hobby, make samples and post about how great it is instead of being like, help me get more sales. I don't know what to do.
And a lot of you I know are leaders that don't have your own team pages, but you're never in here either. So where are you? In the most loving way possible. If you're not in here, where are you?
Why do they have to be there? Why do they have to have their own page? If it's their business, they can run it the way that they want to. Isn't that the way we empower women, Christina? We don't boss them around and tell them how to run their business.
And maybe you do have a team page or you have a team chat. That's awesome. But I do know, and I've heard from some of your teammates that they wish they saw you more. And all that is just show how you're working in here. And some of you are certified lead consultants, etc. And people miss you too because you've disappeared. Those of you who do sell $250 every 3 months, or you have a party a month, your input is so valuable to the people who are right where you are. They want to see what an active business looks like, especially new people. If any of you remember being new and posting on Facebook and getting crickets, it's the same way some of your hostesses feel sometimes. Like I had a friend take a VIP link and she shared it like 4 times and not a single like or comment. And we have all been there. All she was doing was essential consulting for me. And, you know, we've all been there. If you're there or whatever, make sure you're watching this group. But if you have just finally hit the point in your business where you're just past the point where people are no longer paying attention to you and they are starting to pay attention, or you have found a way to start being active every month, can you start sharing what you're doing and what's working? It helps everyone. And one thing we say all the time is a rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Barf. Motivational quote. If I had a fucking half a penny for every time I heard
a rising tide lifts all boats
when I was in Scentsy, I would be a fucking trillionaire. That is the answer to negativity most times, is an inspirational quote.
Remember, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Fuck you. Your boat has a big old hole in it.
We're taking on water fast, sir.
It's not rising at all. It's sinking to the bottom of the motherfucking ocean. Did you look at the foundation of your boat? Is that even what it's called? I don't think boats have foundation. Let's keep going.
When you share, you're being generous because you are sharing with people that, you know, you may not make a dime off of, who don't make a dime off of you, but it's helping. And that energy goes somewhere, I promise.
Why did you have to clarify that? Even though you're not making a dime off of those people and they're not making a dime off of you, it's still worth doing. Why'd you have to clarify that? That's a weird thing to have to clarify, isn't it?
Whatever you're putting out there is going to come back to you in some way. If anything, it's going to come back to you in a mood shift. It's going to come back to you in motivation. It's going to come back to you in a renewal and excitement for your business again. But it takes that step of generosity. And like I said, that comes from a place of I've been there. And the only thing and the most consistent thing that works for me every single time is showing up, is sharing, is working my business out loud and not in private, because it does get isolating. It gets isolating every month when you're like, oh, I have to do that task again. Well, you don't have to do the task alone. Take some pictures, share it in here, and show that with people, because it's going to not only encourage you to do it, it's going to encourage others to do it. And most of the time it's going to help your teammates and your peers see that you're doing something right now. And those who do need some of that motivation by seeing the actions of others are going to be encouraged and inspired to do it themselves. And that is what used to make this group so special. We were so active. And so many of you are still here with me. So I don't know where you went, but I want to see you again. I want to see you with a renewed vigor for just sharing in your business and getting excited about the day-to-day. And the things that I know, it's probably what you've been in Scentsy for 10 years. And so it's your 120th time sending samples. It's your 120th time sending email, but it's still important work. It's still important. And there's somebody today that wants to do it for the first time. And they didn't know you've been doing it for 12 years. Or 10 years. It's their first time deciding to maybe try doing that in their business, and it's going to encourage them. But it's going to make you feel good too, knowing that you've helped someone. That's going to give you a renewed purpose. Anyone who knows my business purpose, and I won't go hugely into my Scentsy story, because it's long. I've told it once, and then suddenly it was like 20 minutes long, even though I said I was going to make it quick. There's no quick way to do it. However, one of the biggest pushes in my business, and one of the reasons I do Scentsy the way I do, and one of the reasons that I will never, ever believe that I am scamming someone or contributing to any sort of toxic behavior by recruiting other people into this business, is because I have seen what it can do, period.
Because you got in early, in my opinion, and found a lot of recruits. She has a ton of people under her.
There are so many of your leaders that in the beginning of their Scentsy story, their Scentsy income helped them get out of extremely toxic relationships and dangerous living situations. They were able to do it in a way that didn't take them away from their kids and going back to work. There are lots of people in here who have been through significant trauma in their life, and they are working on breaking those cycles with their children and their families by being a more present parent. And so having a part-time job and having extra jobs and working outside of the home does not work, is not congruent with what they want their generational legacy to be in their families.
Those are income and lifestyle claims, and those are actually not supposed to be made in a private Facebook group or anywhere else. Also, saying the quiet part out loud, how you literally preyed on people who are in a bad marriage or relationship, who have an illness. You're giving us great examples, because let me remind you that it costs money to buy into Scentsy, and you don't see money for a very long time statistically. You pay money to join a multi-level marketing company with no guarantee return on investment with hopes of getting out of a toxic relationship. That is even more toxic. That's putting you in a worse position. In most cases, the 1% that happened to be in a toxic relationship and was able to recruit and make sales and reach the top of the pyramid, she was able to leave her toxic relationship. But guess what happens when that MLM goes under and she no longer has a team? She's now stuck in a toxic life because she has to figure out how she's going to make ends meet without a job and without any kind of benefits, no severance package, nothing, just done. Because that's what happens in most situations of MLMs when they close, like Modere, or when they switch to affiliate, like Body. And there are many other examples, but those are the two recent ones that I could think of right off the top of my head while I'm filming this video.
And I cannot find, and have never found, a single other opportunity as precious as what we do. One with such a low barrier to entry that anyone can do it. And then what they get out of it is what they choose. Because that is the truest thing ever. There is nothing about Scentsy that asks or requires you to buy and hoard product. If that's how you're running your business, we should chat, because it's not the way you're supposed to be running your business.
But what about the ones that you recruited in, or any of the other leaders have recruited in, telling them that they could just join and use the discount for themselves? They don't have to sell to anybody else or recruit, because that's a different pitch. Now you're telling them they can't do that. Well, that's how they were sold this business. A lot of people in Scentsy or any other MLM where they enjoy the product, a lot of them are told that they can join just for the discount. They don't have to sell or recruit. So on the false pretense that they joined for that reason, now they're being made to feel bad about it.
It's just like if activity requirements scare you, it's usually because you are spending the $250 yourself. And that is not how this business is intended to be built. But I absolutely believe in this opportunity because I have seen what it does and has done and keeps doing for so many of you in helping you find your voice, your purpose, helping you serve others. And the biggest gift of my business is that I get to serve you, lead you, and help you run the businesses of your dreams. But I can't do that if I don't know where you're at. And I want to see you more. I want to see what you're doing. And the things you want out of your business are never going to happen if you are not committed daily to the whole reason you're doing it. I want to see you guys again. I want to see you in here. I want to see how you're working. I want to see you cheering each other on. I want to see you supporting people who are brand new. When, people like Tabitha or Kristen or Cheryl shout out their teammates in here, I want you cheering those people on. And I want it to come from a place of just genuine excitement for the ways that Scentsy is changing people's lives. And we can cheer people on without having any experience with what they're achieving. You can be a $250 a month consultant and still cheer on someone who just earned level 5 of an incentive trip. It does not take away from you for them to have done that. Their motivations for why they're doing that are usually extremely inspirational. And as people share their stories and their Scentsy stories and why they're so driven to do the things they do in their Scentsy businesses, the gift to you in return for participating in that story is inspiration and encouragement and motivation to write your own story.
They need money, not inspiration and encouragement to write a story. What the fuck are we not seeing here? In a real business opportunity where you are legitimately starting a business, you're not encouraged to write a story first. With MLMs, in my experience, you are encouraged to have like this big sad story to reel people in. It's part of the marketing. They are priming you to be their marketers for free, essentially.
And I will die on the hill that there are still stories in this group that have not been written. And that is for anyone who's here. I don't care if you've been here 10 years and you haven't written your story yet or experienced what it can do for you yet. I don't care if you've been here for a day, but there's so much. And I will die on the hill of how important what we do is.
Inspiration doesn't make money. It doesn't pay the bills. Motivation doesn't pay the bills. Motivation doesn't give me a roof over my head. Money does that. I'm sorry, but the truth is the truth. And when you're talking about running a business, the first thing you need to worry about is return on investment. If that's not the first thing you're worrying about, you might want to take a closer look at the business opportunity that you just bought into.
Most of you do know that I love Jesus, okay? And I am sorry if you are offended by that. I'm actually not sorry. That's just a really important part of my life. But anyone who knows me knows that we are all besties in here. I don't care what you believe or where you stand or who you voted for or anything like that. I am obsessed with you and I love you and I want the best for you.
I don't like to get political on my channel, but I'm gonna.
Oh, here she goes.
For just 1 second. Because if you're truly somebody that can look at me and say,
I don't care who you voted for, I love you.
And then in the same breath say that a community that's speaking out about problematic business practices is anti-women, ma'am, I'm sorry, but I have feelings about that. There are certain things that I am not okay with. And if you partake in those certain things, I am not talking to you. We are not associated. I don't want you in my Facebook group. I don't want to be associated with your face, your name, nothing. To say that I don't care what you believe in or who you voted for, I love you, rubs me the wrong way a little. And then again, like I said, in the same breath, say, if you are speaking out about problematic business practices, you're anti-women. You're telling people that voted basically against women that you love them.
But in the same way that I am called in my faith, they mirror each other in how I feel called with you guys, in helping you find.
Let me ask you this. If you're a Scentsy consultant, if you're somebody at the top, if you are her, if you're seeing this with your eyes and hearing it with your ears, if there was no financial tie to what you're doing, would you still be doing it for the same amount of time? Would you still be putting as much focus on staying away from the negativity as you are right now? Or would that change? And think about that with an open mind.
Your purpose and to really see that there's so much more for you than what you're settling for. That there's a different way to live. And it's its own style of ministry, right? I truly believe that what we have is so special. And when we keep that to ourselves, whether it's not offering the opportunity, whether it's not sharing how we're working with the people who are already in the opportunity, when it's not showing up every single day to cheer people on who are using this as a stepping stone to change their lives, we are doing such a huge disservice to the people around us. And that is the most important thing about Scentsy to me. And it all holds hands. It's all so similar. The sharing with other consultants is just the extension of that sharing the opportunity. We can share the opportunity all day long, but if we don't also protect and share after already accepting the opportunity, then we're doing a disservice to the people who join and don't see that it's anything special because they log on, the team page is crickets, nobody shares, everyone's hoarding information, everybody does everything alone. That is not the opportunity. That is not what Scentsy is for. When they step in here,
hold on, I'm looking for speak. Wait, can I see that? Now I can. Okay. Oops, so this leads in. Okay.
That's so annoying. Okay. All right. So that was what kind of inspired me as far as something that we could do this month to continue on with what Christina was saying. And it's all about the more that we share, the more that we see each other more working, the more that we are inspired to do the same and we feel supported in the things that we're doing. So we're going to do a program and it's called Pass the Torch.
You spent 37 minutes playing these videos to tell the people to share more what they're doing in their business. Could have been a one-line text.
And I'm going to show you the graphic for that. Okay. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. So Pass the Torch, How I'm Working Challenge. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with either myself or, well, I think it'll be Melissa on the Together We Sent page versus my page. And we'll share what we're doing for the day. And then we will tag someone. And within 24 hours, if you get tagged, you have to create a post and share what you're doing, and you get to tag someone. So we're going to continue to pass the torch and share what it is that we're doing. And if you are not tagged, please still feel inspired to share within the comments what you're doing, because the more that we share, the more that we get ideas of things that we can be doing for our businesses, and we will be working together. So regardless of who's sharing that day, if you weren't tagged, please share in the comments. We want to see what you're doing. And if you are tagged, like I said, 24 hours, you got to share within 24 hours, and you get to choose who gets to be tagged next to share what they're doing. We will periodically share, maybe towards the end of the week, some of the highlighted things that we've seen people share. We will do some random drawings as far as people who are just doing a lot. What else? What am I forgetting?
Well, and this is why it tied so nicely into what Christina spoke about and that's actually, it's Christina's live that just showed you, that kind of sparked or got your wheels moving about this pass the torch.
What is happening? Why are we in surround sound? I can't focus on anything. My ADHD brain is just everywhere. I feel like Christina when she saw a squirrel with a stick in its mouth running up the tree. Full circle moment.
Is that our communities are only as good and as strong as the people that are sharing within that community. And so imagine tuning into the team page and seeing it filled with ideas. I mean, Brandy and Yvonne, I'm calling you two out because I'm looking at both of you, but look at when we did our programs last May and June, how much it invigorated us to show up for our businesses. And Patty's nodding also. Like, there's an accountability piece in knowing that you're helping others. Because like Christina said, if you're always just on the take, how much value are you finding within the community when you don't get to feel that appreciation back for what you've shared with somebody else? Because there is a level of value that you find within the information we share, but there's also a level of value you feel when you're able to help someone else. And so I've always said that the value you find within the Scentsy community is directly proportionate to the value you bring to the Scentsy community. And so in order to encourage this more give and take, but I don't even look at it as give and take, it's share and shift. Shift yourself into an accountability, shift yourself into a consistency, and shift yourself into,
like, it's just word vomit. The more you share within the Scentsy community, the more you'll get. Sure, if you're telling a group of people to share more, then they're all going to get more because they're all sharing more. But sharing more with somebody doesn't automatically mean that you get more, nor should it give you the false sense of hope that you sharing more of yourself with somebody, you sharing more of your business with somebody is going to then get you more of that person or more of that business. That is not how life works. Working a business and knowing how to work a business and knowing the ins and outs of how to make a return on your investment and what is a wise business choice versus what is a not wise business choice, like joining an MLM, in my opinion. Those are things that you want to be talking about, not encouraging your team to share more, because what are they sharing? Them making samples? What is that going to do for anybody's business? Even the person making the samples is losing money in that moment because they are spending their money on the wax. They are spending their money on the little bags that the samples go in. They're spending their money on the postage that they might use to send out samples. These are not ways to run a successful business. And if you're in a business call and this is what you're experiencing or some kind of level of this, start to ask the hard questions, whether you have to go to a Scentsy hate group to do so or not.
To this positive place of cheering for one another. It's like all of us leaders posted, yesterday and today on our team page, on Together We Scent, shouting out our top team members for January. We can rally around those posts and cheer for the people that have been highlighted, because I don't know if Christina said it or we said it earlier, but what if you have a new team member, we'll use Cassandra, right, tonight. You have a new team member that joins our community. Is she going to feel mega welcomed by 2 people commenting on the post, welcoming her? Or is she going to feel mega inspired if 50 people welcome her to the community?
Because they're going to be inspired. They're going to be inspired if you comment on the post welcoming them. What does that do from there? Does that give them $10 in their next commission check? I'm willing to bet it doesn't do fucking shit. It does nothing but put a smile on somebody's face.
Smiling is the second best thing you can do with your lips.
Which is cool. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But when we're talking about running a business is something that you do to make a profit. It's not therapy. It's not group time. It's not circle time in kindergarten. It's none of those things. Those are separate from business.
Put yourself in Cassandra's shoes and say, what would make me feel good? If I walked in and it went kind of unnoticed, am I going to feel like, I'm just another person here? Or if 50 people commented and were like, we are so excited that you are here, how's that going to make that person feel? But it's not just about new people coming in. What about me? I've been doing this 17 years and I like to be, I like to be reassured that what I'm sharing has value. I like to be reassured that I'm not, obsolete, or what are you going to say?
But also it's also that, and I left mine muted, so you have to skip my audio.
That's fine.
For you. But, if I'm the only one who's ever sharing on my team page, how inspired does everyone else feel to share? If we are all sharing, then we're empowering those people who wouldn't normally feel as comfortable sharing to jump in there and share what they're doing. So it takes all of us to create that kind of community. We can continue to be the Anna and Melissa show and the Tammy show and the Kelly show and the Andrea show. And
what do they need to be doing? Nobody's telling them what they should be doing in order to share it on the page. Just share what you're doing. What? Making samples, again, that is a great way to lose money real quick because nobody's paying you for those samples. That's marketing expenses. That is not running a business. Those are just marketing things that you have to do, and that costs you money. What are people supposed to be sharing that is going to help anybody make a profit? You can't just keep saying, share what you're doing in your business. What are they supposed to be doing? If they're not having a successful time in their business, if they're not making money, what are they sharing? Their hobbies?
Look at what I did for fun today. I made a new shape of wax samples. Yay, go me.
What the fuck?
But that doesn't inspire everyone to do what we do. And that's really what we want, is everyone to feel excited and empowered to share what it is that they do.
But I would also say, Anna, we're all in different places of our business. And so we may be sharing.
We can't hear you.
I can hear you just fine.
I wonder why I'm unmuted. I don't know.
There.
Now I hear her.
Oh, wait, we had you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was unmuted. I don't know why. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what that was because it was unmuted. But what I was going to say is we're all in different phases of our business. So we may be sharing something that we're doing. And we don't share the making samples like Christina said, but that making samples may inspire somebody at that level, just getting started with their business, not knowing to do it. So I think there's value, and we say this so many times, there's value in everybody. The person who just signed up yesterday, who's looking at that business in a different light. And so, like we said, it shouldn't be just us sharing. Every single person that's here has value.
So are they just telling people to share what they're doing so that the top leaders don't have to explain to the new people what they're supposed to be doing? This is wild. Also, to that point, if you're in a different stage of your business and you see somebody else making samples, they could be benefiting from making samples. They could be going to a vendor event that they've been going to for years and years. They could be doing any of those things. For somebody new that's just starting out, making samples is not going to be beneficial for them. That is going to set them off on the absolutely wrong foot because they're already spending and losing money in the business that they just paid to join.
And so we want to know what you're doing because you might inspire us to do something different that we've been doing a certain way for years. So.
No, because you know what we're going to do?
What?
We're going to use that as one of our first pass the torch shares.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And that'll be a little nugget for you to participate in Pass the Torch is that we have something to share that is all about
rebooted it.
Yeah. Rebooted. Yeah. All about, because we want to talk about new customer acquisition always the first week of the month. And so along those lines, we have a tool for you to use to help you with new customers, getting new customers. Okay. Easy party style that will help you open up your funnel and bring some new people in. So we are going to share that as our first Yeah, one of our first, because I think we had a couple of things planned. One of the first pass the torches. So you're going to watch on the Together We Scent page tomorrow and on the Flash Community page tomorrow.
Tonight. Are you?
Oh, okay, we're posting it right after this call. Forget it. We're posting it right after this call. And it'll be the first thing to pass the torch, and we will tag some of you to kick us off tomorrow with taking that torch and continuing to pass it on. But the whole point in the torch is not just to be the poster who gets tagged, but to show up in the comments and share what you are doing, or share what your is your win that you're celebrating with regards to your business. We want to see what you're working on. We want to see what you're doing, and from that is where bigger ideas grow. Okay, so that's what we'll do.
I love it.
Okay. Rand, any 2 cents and thoughts, and also drawing our winner for everybody enduring our spontaneity this evening.
Yeah, I'm excited about this because I want to know what everybody's doing. You know, and like Tammy was saying, I mean, we may learn something that and get ideas from you guys too. I mean, it's not all about us. So I love learning and continuing to learn from everybody. Even, you know, after 18 years, it's like I am constantly learning and constantly doing new things. So I am super excited about this. So Anna, thank you. Okay, so I have a name to draw down to the bottom here. Okay, here we go. Denise Miller.
And guess what? Denise Meadord, she just promoted to lead consultant.
Wow, congratulations. That's
and
exciting.
So that is very, very exciting.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Denise. Okay, bear with me. 2 more minutes, I promise, and I'll release you.
Just make sure you send me your information, okay?
Yes. Perfect. Thank you, Rand. Thank you. Thank you. First, would you drop in the chat, everybody, how long you've been with Scentsy? Just how many years you've been at Scentsy? Just drop that really quickly, because I think it's really cool to see how many of us have been doing this business for a very long time. 4.5 years, almost 14 years, 12 years, 3 days. I love that. 3 months, 7 years, 8 years, 2 years, 5 years, 4 years, 2 months, 16 years, 7 months. Amazing. We have consultants that have been here. I mean, Rand and Tammy have been here the longest, at 17, 18 years. I've been at 17 years. Kelly's been 16 years.
12 years.
Anna's 12 years.
I want to know what the individual that's been here for 3 days got out of this call, other than a feeling of overwhelm. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Like, not knowing anything that you just got into. This is your first team training, and you got nothing out of it other than share what you're doing in your business and word salad. Bon appetit.
We have been here for a long time doing this, and I like to highlight and spotlight that, because Scentsy, there's something special about Scentsy, to where people get into this community and find a community they want to stay in, and we love it here. And so I just wanted all of you, that was that little drop in the chat was for all of us to see. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight. We appreciate you and love you so much. Have a great week.
See you tomorrow.
So there was a really, I don't know if I would call it awkward or uncomfortable, just a telling moment at the end of this video that I did cut out of respect for the family. There was a consultant that, I guess from what they said, passed away at the end of January, I believe, due to cancer. She did have a child. I'm not sharing the rest of the information because that's beyond anti-mlm content. But the reason I wanted to mention that is because I have watched all of the end of month lives with Heidi and Orville, as well as the address to Miss Jennifer Anderson's team after she left, where Heidi said that they love everybody so much and they're all friends. Not once did they mention this individual on any of these live streams where they're claiming they care so much about consultants, or claiming that their consultants are family and they love them so much and they're friends and they want to be part of their lives and there to support. Not once did they shout her out for a tribute, a thank you, nothing on any of these calls. This is the first time hearing of it, and apparently it was a well-known consultant. Let that sit. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.
Someplace I could hide away. I feel like blessing my ride today. I feel like blessing my